Hello and welcome from Nuts About Money. £100,000 is a lot of money, but is it enough to retire? There's two answers to this. The first is if you're 65 and just about to retire, you will just about have enough to cover the essentials, such as food and household bills, but only if you also get the full state pension. The state pension is the pension from the government, which you'll get at state pension age, which is currently 66, but rising to 68. It's not a lot of money and won't provide you with a comfortable retirement. It's just enough to cover some basic bills. We'll put the current weekly amount in the video description. You'll get the full amount if you've made at least 35 years worth of national insurance contributions over your lifetime and at least 10 years to get some money. So, if you're 65 now, a £100,000 pension pot, in addition to the state pension, will come in slightly under the minimum recommended income set by the Pension and Lifetime Savings Association, but it's pretty close. We'll put the exact figures in the video description. You won't be able to afford any luxuries, or a car, or any holidays. It would simply cover the essentials. The second answer is that if you're younger than 65, say still in your 60s, you won't be able to retire until you get the state pension. A £100,000 pension by itself is not going to cover much of your bills at all. In fact, the income you'll get from this amount is 3 times less than the recommended minimum amount needed. And by the time you reach 66 to retire, £100,000 won't cover the minimum needed anymore. And if you're much younger than 60, perhaps 40, you're going to need a very large pension by the time you retire at state pension age, much more than £100,000. In fact, for a comfortable retirement, you'll need a massive £1.6 million in your pension pot, in addition to receiving the state pension, and around £250,000 just for the minimum recommended amount. This is because the cost of things go up every year, such as food and living expenses, and over time, say a period of 30 years, things go up in price by a lot. The good news is that £1.6 million won't seem as scary in 30 years' time. You can use our pension calculator to see how much you might need based on your own age and circumstances. Search for Nuts About Money Pension Calculator in Google or check the link in the description. The good news is that you don't actually have to add all this money into your pension. Your pension savings are typically invested by experts and will typically grow very large given enough time. This is thanks to something called compound interest, where the interest you make on your money begins to make its own interest, and this snowballs over and over, turning small amounts of money into very large amounts over long periods of time. The key thing is to start saving into your pension now. Don't leave it to later when nearing retirement. The longer you have to save, the larger your pension pot will be. You can use our pension calculator to see how much you should be saving each month too. And there's more good news. Saving into a pension is tax-free, so it can grow much faster over time. They're the best way to save for retirement and highly recommended. A great strategy for retirement saving is to make the most of your pension from work if you're employed and pay at least 5% of your salary in, so your employer has to also pay in at least 3% by law, and then look at saving more into a personal pension, which is one you set up yourself. With a personal pension, you get the same tax-free saving benefits, but you get to decide which pension provider to use rather than your employer, so you can pick a great one that's easy to use, has a great investment record, excellent customer service, and maybe things like a handy mobile app to manage your pension easily. We've got our top picks in the video description to get you started. And that's it. Try and save as much as you reasonably can. Your future self will really need it and they'll thank you for it, I promise. Like and subscribe for more useful videos about pensions and money in general.